state police are out here.
Good morning. Good morning. Make sure we have a good connection. You guys can see me. We're live. What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween. Apparently, there's an attack that was foiled. Kash Patel spoke about it. There's a live feed out on the property. Multiple suspects arrested plotting a terror attack in Michigan over the Halloween weekend. Who does that? Right? Like the plan is to do an attack over the Halloween weekend. And so it says the FBI in Detroit apprehended a group of young individuals that are in custody today. They were plotting some form of attack with a possible reference to Halloween. Those officials say the group has a nexus to some of the foreign extremism, but some did not say if it was ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or some other similar ideology. What the? One official says some arrests occurred in Dearborn and Inkster, Michigan. Law enforcement was able to monitor the group in the greater Detroit area over the past several days, at a minimum, to make sure that no actual attack happened. Bro. Let's plan a Halloween attack. What? Deep dig. Amir Al-Abdul Majid Mohammed Saeed or Saad, a Melvindale. I don't know there's a Melvindale. A Melvindale man and a former member of the Army National Guard was arrested in May after he launched a drone over TACOM as part of a reconnaissance mission ahead of the attack that he was allegedly planning to carry out May 13th. Information spreading after Friday's announcement has named Saeed, though he has been in custody since May. So let's take a look at some of this feed over here. They're live, but I wanted to rewind to see what some of the witnesses, people were saying on scene. People are rushing up to the house. Good morning. If you guys could help me out with the like button, share the stream out.
Just wondering what she thought.
Let me bump up the volume.
Do you know your neighbors next door?
Oh, sorry. Let me fix that. I was trying to flip it. You guys are watching my chat screen. There we go.
The raid, she didn't see anything else.
Does she know what time this raid happened specifically?
Was it scary?
Do you know your neighbors?
Was it? Ask her, was it scary?
Man, terror attack.
She's like, she just moved in, she doesn't know anything.
How difficult is it to have a situation
Simpler.
like this next door to you, given
Was
that
it,
there's
was it scary?
It's got to be frightening.
No, it's fine. It was pleasant. Oh.
What did you see?
She just saw the police from the
سيارات وناس بس سيارات وعسكر.
She just saw a policeman first.
What's your name? Is this your mom?
My aunt.
Hey, Brown Sugar, happy
What are your
Halloween.
thoughts on this, Fatima?
It's becoming more common.
It seems pretty scary. Absolutely. Hang on 1 second.
When you hear about a threat and
Here
you
we
see
go,
the
Bert.
FBI out, what are you thinking?
Hey, everybody. Yeah.
Don't, like, you know, like, I'm getting scared.
Lady who actually lives next door had just stepped out higher. This is a breaking situation.
And you were just dropping off your child
Right
here.
here,
There's kids in this neighborhood. We understand there's children right over there. It's supposed to be a fun day.
Evidence text actually.
What are you feeling? Are you worried about your aunt at all? I mean, what are your thoughts when you hear about that?
It's pretty scary because, like, we have a lot of relatives around the street.
وأنا اللي الغدي إحنا ولا درينا بشيء اللي بالغدي بس.
She said she didn't notice anything, just raid and cars.
Does it make you even more frightened that maybe everything did seem bad?
Yeah, that's scary for us. Because everything seems normal. When we walk around the streets, everything looks normal.
And then suddenly the FBI and state police are out here. we get the spelling of your name?
FATIML.
And your last name?
Salad, SALT.
E-H or H? And would you mind spelling your aunt's name for us?
Sultana, SALTANA.
And last name?
Let me pause this. We have some helicopter feed too. I want to put them on the smaller screen. Let's do that. Let's full screen the helicopter view. Live feed. This is over, I guess, one of the properties here. No sound to the helicopter, but let me keep playing the ladies on the side. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Good morning. Happy Halloween. What are you guys doing today? Any Halloween celebrations? Are you dressing up? Are you partying? Are you just staying home, avoiding the crazies? Just like that. Damn.
And how long have you been here?
2 seconds?
She said just for 4 months.
Okay, so it's got to be even more unsettling. Well, thank you guys. Enjoy your holiday too.
That's crazy. I want to know more details about this supposed terror attack by multiple individuals. Thwarted. They talked about a violent attack tied to foreign extremism. They said there's no active threat. Terror attack.
All right, Shante, thank you very much. We've got breaking news in our newsroom just a few minutes ago. The FBI says it has thwarted a potential terror attack here in Michigan. Take a look at this tweet from FBI Director Kash Patel. He says multiple suspects were arrested for plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. Dearborn police just also posted an update to Facebook saying they were made aware of FBI operations in the city earlier this morning. They say there is no threat to the community right now. Honestly, we don't know much more than that. But again, the director saying they have thwarted a terrorist attack in Michigan, and he says more details will be coming. Of course, we're going to follow this over the next 2 hours and continue to bring you updates as we get them here into the newsroom.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Black heart emoji.
To follow that breaking news here in the Local 4 newsroom of the FBI thwarting a violent terrorist attack that would have happened here in Metro Detroit over this Halloween weekend. Dearborn police also confirming they are involved in this investigation. Our crews are currently at 2 different scenes right now. This is a neighborhood near Tireman and Warren. The actual street is Middle Point in Dearborn. We have a second scene that we can show you as well. This is near Ford and Schaefer.
Wow.
This is on Hoger, also in the city of Dearborn, but there is a third scene as well somewhere in the city of Inkster that we are aware of. I do want to point out, and this is critical, that the attack that was planned and thwarted by the FBI, we're not saying that these communities, these cities are the ones that were targeted. All we know right now is that this is where the current investigation is. So there's a good chance the homes that you're looking at live right now with FBI investigators and state police investigators and others, locals, working inside these homes, there's a strong possibility that those that have been arrested that are accused of planning this terrorist attack were either living inside of these homes or working inside of these homes. We don't know what the attack was actually planned for and what communities or cities or areas they were targeting. All we know is that that's where the investigation currently stands, as you've got multiple investigators in multiple different areas around the area, around Metro Detroit, I should say. I do want to show you a map of where these two specific areas are. Again, as you see, Middle Point Street and Hoger, which are, as you can see, about 2 miles apart, very close in proximity to each other in the area of Dearborn. I also know there are schools very close to those areas as well. So anybody who has children that go to schools in that area, please know that the Dearborn Police Department has said there is not a threat to anybody in the community, so you don't have to go pick up your children. Nobody is in danger at this point. The FBI, Michigan State Police, and local police do have it under control. We do want to get an update on everything that we know as of this moment right now. All of this started with the FBI director saying multiple suspects were arrested for plotting a violent attack over this Halloween weekend. The FBI Detroit office saying the FBI was in, actually still is, as you saw there, in both Dearborn and Inkster. Dearborn police saying they were made aware of FBI operations in the city earlier this morning, and sources say that Dearborn police are assisting in the FBI in this investigation as well. We also know Michigan State Police are there as well. Shantae Passmore is at one of the scenes right now on Hoger. She's only been there for about 5 or 10 minutes, so I know, Shantae, it's very difficult to get a grasp on what's happening when you're just rushing there, but at the very least, you can tell us what you see and who's there.
Right, so that's correct, Nick. So we've been here for maybe, 15, 20 minutes or so. And to give you a better idea, of course, we're right near Schaefer and Ford Roads. We're actually right next to Fortson High School. So just imagine this. This is a residential area. A lot of people starting their morning with noticing the presence of FBI agents here, as well as MSP. And so we have been seeing agents going in and out of this home right there on your screens. It's unclear at this moment what exactly they are looking for, what is the nature of the foiled terrorist attack, but there's been a lot of commotion at this particular home, neighbors looking on nearby. And I also have to point out here, we've got some neighbors who are, again, looking to see what is happening here, but nearly every single home on this block has at least one car here, telling you that there are families home right now as this is happening this Friday morning. And so we are waiting to learn more information, of course, but a quick recap of what we know. If you're just joining us again this morning, FBI agents, we're told, spent the morning in Dearborn and Inkster conducting law enforcement activities. And this all came down. We also learned more from FBI Director Kash Patel, who wrote on X that multiple people were arrested for allegedly plotting a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. And if there's a silver lining, I can say there is no current threat to public safety. But again, so many questions. When we think about multiple people arrested, how many people exactly? What was the nature of this supposed terrorist attack? And then, of course, where was this intended to happen here? A lot of things we are waiting to learn to unpack right now from authorities. But we'll think things over to you, Nick.
The community. Normally, when there is a crime scene like that, there would be police tape blocks all around the area. The fact that you're right in front of that home tells me, I'm assuming there isn't any, which that makes me assume that the police don't think that there is any imminent threat right there as well.
And that's a great.
Well, it's interesting too, because I saw some people make some comments about Dearborn in the chat, and a friend of mine sent me some information too. The chopper's back out. Sent me some information about, I guess, the demographics. As of 2023, Dearborn is unofficially considered a Muslim majority city, though precise religious demographics are difficult to measure. Damn, bro, that is wild. Let me see. Dearborn's Muslim population. Arab majority in 2023 data from the 2020 census showed that 54.5% of Dearborn's population was of MENA ancestry, with most being Arab. A 2023 survey indicated that the proportion of the residents with MENA ancestry rose slightly to 55%. Largest Muslim population. Dearborn has the highest proportion of Muslim residents per capita in the United States. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. And they also have the largest mosque. The city is home to the Islamic Center of America, which is the largest mosque in North America. Holy moly. So major response out there this morning. I think at least to 2 locations. Terrorist plot folded. Violent weekend was being planned, I guess they say. I wonder if they're going to do some kind of press conference. Michigan Halloween arrests are tied to international terrorism. Top Fed law enforcement tells Fox News. The arrests the FBI announced in Michigan related to a potential attack planned over the Halloween weekend are tied to international terrorism. Multiple suspects accused of plotting violence over the Halloween weekend. Wow. More details to come, Kash Patel wrote. Wow. I wonder how they got caught. Did someone snitch? Did someone report something? Were they being tracked on social media? News of thwarted plot comes 10 months after the Samsud Din Jabbar. Damn, I almost forgot about that. Samsud Din Jabbar plowed a pickup truck into the New Year's revelers on New Orleans Bourbon Street. All right, let me check you guys out on the chat, what you're saying. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the 2 months, Rachel. Jojo, thank you for the 5 months. Says, yo, Mel, happy Friday. Happy Halloween. I live in Michigan. I'm an hour and 20 minutes from Detroit. Damn, man, they're going to have to look into all the connections, who these people are associated with. Who else do they know? I jumped on a little late because I was busy this morning. I was at a Halloween parade for my daughter and doing a bunch of stuff. Got a little Halloween party tonight. But I hope after the party, I think I'm going to be there for an hour or two, maybe 2 hours. For my daughter. Then I'll be back, and who knows if we get a chase or something, that'd be nice. But I'll be around for the next couple hours, and then tonight I have one little thing, and then after that, that's it. Terror attack, man. I wonder why Halloween. I wonder if there's other attacks that are being planned, like from the same people or, people related to these people. Were they planning, was there going to be multiple attacks? Terror attack, Michigan. Today. They're at this house, too. You can see in the bottom corner.
Breaking news, FBI.
Bottom right-hand corner. Looks like they're at this house. What they're doing here.
Director Kash Patel says his agency prevented what he's calling a potential terrorist attack planned for the Halloween holiday weekend in Michigan. Let's go live now to our Bryn Gingras. Bryn, we've learned that multiple people have been arrested. What else do we know here?
Yeah, you know, very thin on the information, Pam. I got to be honest with you. I got to tell you, so many reporters at CNN are making phone calls trying to connect the dots, exactly what is going on here, what the FBI Director Kash Patel is talking about in that post, but they have not released any more information. What we know is that he said that there was a thwarted attack that was plotted to happen over the Halloween weekend, and as a result, multiple people have been arrested. The big questions here are, how far along was this plot really in its developmental process? Like, was it actually going to happen this weekend? Where are the potential targets? And of course, who might be involved?
Friendly
are we
Freddy,
talking about domestic terrorism? Are we talking about inspiration from overseas terrorists? So these are all questions that we are asking our sources, and we are coming close to getting a little bit more detail, but not there quite yet. But of course, we'll bring that to you. What we also know, Pam, this morning is that Dearborn officials in Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit, and Inkster both have confirmed, and the FBI in Detroit field office as well, that activity was taking place, investigation by FBI officials happening in their cities. They put out a public alert saying, listen, people can relax, there is no need for alarm, that those investigations were happening in cities by the FBI. So we know that they are happening in those two towns, active investigations by the FBI, but again, not much more detail about that. Of course, this is Halloween, October 31st. Again, I've been saying it harkens for me just being in New York, that incident that happened back in 2017, that, terrorist-inspired attack that happened along the West Side Highway in New York, killing 8 people. So this is a day, as you know, Pam, so many law enforcement on high alert. And of course, this sounds like a potential terrorist attack was thwarted. So we're working to get more details, and as soon as I get them, we'll bring them to you.
We all are. I was making calls too before the show, trying to get any more details. I know you're working the phones too, Bryn. Hopefully we can learn a little bit more. Thanks so much for that.
Right.
So just to try to better understand what we know and put into context, I want to bring in Daniel Brunner, a retired FBI special agent and president of the Brunner Sierra Group. Daniel, first of all, just how unusual is this for the FBI director to send out a tweet like this, that a potential terrorist attack was stopped, was averted, without sort of more detail? So we're left hanging here a little bit.
Well, we've learned, I think, with this administration and with this FBI director, that the norm of what has always been, especially with social media, is not the normal with him. He likes to tweet out information quickly, immediately. Listen, to one extreme, I understand it brings, understanding of what is happening, because there's a lot of FBI agents probably working right now near the site where this alleged incident occurred. So there's going to be a lot of questions. So in the lack of, having answers, he put it out there. Now, normally the public affairs office for the Detroit office will typically put something out, or the public affairs office for FBI headquarters. But normally the FBI director doesn't tweet information. We've already learned some.
They pissed. And I know they pissed. This is CNN, by the way. They pissed because he tweeted it out. So what, motherfuckers?
Probably working right now near the site where this alleged incident occurred. So there's going to be a lot of questions. So in the lack of having answers, he put it out there. Now, normally the public affairs office for the Detroit office will typically put something out, or the public affairs office for FBI headquarters. But normally the FBI director doesn't tweet information. We've already learned sometimes they can get himself in trouble where he puts out information that isn't exactly accurate. So now we're not seeing evidence, we're not seeing information as to what this incident occurred, but we're seeing some incidents of individuals, and obviously Dearborn Police Department putting out information to their locals, letting them know that they are handling a situation.
Yeah. So what is going on, do you think, behind the scenes right now with the FBI? Because you have this, and we're waiting to learn more, but also just the overall heightened security posture around an event like
cops,
Halloween.
Feds.
Well, especially around events like this, we always stood up a minimized command post in Newark to be prepared for a situation, to immediately bring in all the resources needed to incident command. This was, if this was done normally, you have a 6 a.m. operation done in Michigan, which means that this was an investigation that was occurring. This was an imminent incident that was suddenly probably given to them as a tip last night. So this was probably a planned operation at 6 a.m. And this is typically what they want to do in an FBI investigation, is they want to get as much information and evidence against the individuals that are conducting this alleged attack, and to almost to the point where they're about to conduct the attack. So if they're planning it, they don't want to get it too early because that'll not be enough evidence. But if they're planning it and getting everything ready, if there were undercover agents, they're gathering evidence. If there was electronic surveillance, they're gathering all the conversations. So there's a lot of data coming in, and I'm sure that we're going to get more information once a press conference is held later today.
And tell us more about just the timing of this Halloween. I know a lot of parents are looking at this and thinking, well, you know, we're going to go trick-or-treating tonight with our family. Should we be on heightened alert? What do you make of the timing?
Well, I think that anytime, you know, we're out with our family, especially events like this that are large gatherings of people, groups of people, you should undoubtedly be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. People that are completely enclosed and not paying attention to their surroundings, that's a little bit, it adds a little bit more danger. But events like this, where there are large gatherings of people, I don't think anybody should not go because they feel afraid. I don't think anybody should change their way. The FBI, local police departments, state officials, they're all working really hard, and they're aware of these large events. Thanksgiving, Christmas, we're coming up on a lot of different times where they are large gatherings of people. So keeping yourself aware of your situation, listening to law enforcement, and having a plan to be prepared to get out of a situation. Think about that when you go to an event. Don't put yourself in a corner. If you know you're going to be like, okay, if a situation happens, let's go this way, let's go to the left. Listen to law enforcement, listen to your federal authorities. That'll be the best way.
Sad you even have to think about that, but in this day and age, you do. Daniel Brunner, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on.
Feds coming out of the house. Seems like multiple properties. Wow. Terror attack folded. That's interesting. An interesting start to the Halloween day. And yeah, you should be cautious anyway, regardless. People come up with all kinds of stuff. Try to put stuff in the kids' candy or whatever. There's one guy that I've seen so far. They're saying this person was named in this incident, but he was linked to a previous incident too. Websites like that scrape social media for news, incorrectly linking the Halloween weekend plot to the planned Tacoma attack. Information spreading after Friday's announcement as named side. Oh, so he's been in custody already, though. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, he was carrying out the attack at the direction of ISIS, but was stopped because undercover officers had become aware of the plan ahead of time from his previous attack. That's crazy, and I wonder what the targets were. What were the targets? Was it going to be their own community, or were they going to go outside of their community? Dearborn. I went on vacation at Dearborn one time. No, just kidding. So I'm assuming there's going to be some type of press conference later. The feds are over here collecting a lot of evidence, going in and out. Multiple locations, evidence team. EBT, end of times, is coming. But I think some states have funding that they can do it themselves, I believe. I have to look more into that, but the end of times. What are they going to do November 1st? Blades and the candy. Oh my God, Mel, remember when we had to be cautious of gangs jumping you? Blades and candy and egg throwing. Egg throwing and toilet paper. We're gonna do a little trick or treating tonight in a big group. Gonna go to a little party and then go in a big group with Maddie and some of her classmates and parents and stuff. Halloween terror attack. Was it bombs, guns? Somebody said this is what modern Michigan looks like. No, that's Michigan? Oh, I thought it was a joke. That's Michigan? Let me show you guys. It probably is. Michigan. That's a pretty big deal. Oh, this was Michael Rappaport in New York. Let me switch this back. Michael Rappaport in New York. Let's see what he had to say.
Named Zoran. We have a candidate, Zoran the moron. The moron, Zoran, who will not even bring himself.
They're saying I think he's going to win. Zoran, New York.
To condemn the phrase globalize the intifada. Let me make this very clear because it matters. Globalize the intifada is not just calling for violence against Jews. It's calling for the violence against anybody who doesn't submit to radical jihadist ideology. That means Christians. That means Muslims who don't agree. That means the LGBTQ. That means women. That means artists, journalists, comedians, free thinkers. Anybody that believes in freedom. It's anti-human. Yes. It's anti-democracy. It's anti-New York City, and it's certainly anti-American. And if you want to know what globalizing the intifada actually is, it took place right here on 9/11. That was globalization of the intifada. And this person that is running for mayor of our city, when asked about condemning that phrase, this person says different words have different meanings to different people. So if you're looking to lead this city and you cannot condemn that language, you're not just disrespecting Jews, you're disrespecting every single New Yorker whose life was changed that day. I ain't perfect. This city ain't perfect. Cuomo ain't perfect. Nobody is perfect. This election is about protecting the soul of New York City from people who do not understand it, do not respect it, and do not love it. We must go vote for Cuomo. And by the way, I want to say this. I have never met Andrew Cuomo. I've never met him. I wasn't asked to be here. I haven't been paid to be here. I am here because we have to be here. We must vote like the city depends on it. We must vote like your kid's life depends on it. It is our city, New York City. We bully the bullies. We expose the frauds. We protect our own. So stand up, vote Cuomo, and let's remind these clowns whose city it is.
Michael Rappaport. I don't know, man. They say Mandami has a good chance of winning. There's a lot of people out there supporting him. Mandami.
George Webb, Halloween candy hoax, Halloween candy poisoning, Halloween candy maybe with fentanyl laced. We don't know all the details.
Imagine that. I didn't even think about that because okay, well, yeah, it was a Halloween. I don't know if there's like it's over the weekend, but a Halloween attack, Halloween terror attack. Yeah, imagine they were actually planning on targeting children, just anybody consuming candy.
Okay, hello everybody, George Webb. Halloween candy hoax, Halloween candy poisoning, Halloween candy maybe with fentanyl laced. We don't know all the details yet, but here in Dearborn, here we are at the kibbutz. We're heading there in the news van, as you can see, with a news van behind me. There is FBI has announced this morning in Dearborn, where we've done many charrettes, many kibbutz charrettes. We go to Dearborn every time we do a Michigan charrette here. There is this, you remember Huma Abedin is from there. You remember there is this kind of Muslim contingent there. Gretchen Whitmer kind of harbors it, stokes the flames there and so forth, safe harbor and so forth with this sort of ICE protection that's happening all over our country, including Detroit, Chicago, and other major cities. But now we have a 19-year-old, it looks like Syed is his name, Michigan National Guard kid, and some other people talking about lacing the candy for Halloween. Every mother, every father doesn't want to hear this the day of going to take their kid out for trick or treat. So we're working on the story. We're heading there in the news van right now. We'll have more for you a little bit later.
Okay. Looks like they're going through the vehicles right now. Well, they're saying this guy was still locked up currently. Yeah, we're going to have to see what kind of press conference they have. I guess right now they're going to collect as much evidence. They have the warrants. They're going to go through vehicles, properties, social media, accounts, family, friends, connections. Brown, thank you for the gift in the membership. That's wild, dude. That's people were planning that. Would be really sick too if they're actually planning on targeting kids. JD Vance. They were saying, a lot of people were talking about JD Vance and Erica Kirk. They were saying all kinds of stuff because there was this picture that came out where they were like, I I guess she hugged him, and they were trying to say that, like, oh, they're sleeping together or something. I didn't get that from the picture, but I thought the hands through the hair was a little much. I mean, I don't know what to think of that. Let me show you guys the picture. People were saying they're sleeping together. Where's that? Oh, here it is. Those, they were, I guess, I don't know where they were at. But a lot of people, I'm talking about like millions of views, millions of people talking about, oh, they're, you know, whatever. There was like this kind of hug here, and then they embraced. And there was a lot of people talking about, oh, the hands through the hair, blah, blah, blah. You know. What? Hold on, what is this?
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD. And Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage.
So this blew up yesterday. Or I mean, I noticed it yesterday. I don't know how long they've been talking about it, but it's kind of a new topic, I guess. Hands in the hair, hands on the hips. You know, I don't know. I wish I did, Missy. I don't know what. I wish I covered the debate. I should have. Maybe we'll have a fun stream one time and just watch it. I missed out the debate with Cuomo and Mondami. That's how you say it. I missed that debate. And it did look interesting. I saw some clips of it. I saw Piker came up and all this stuff. Gervonta Davis getting sued. Woman who alleged the star boxer roughed her up in a popular Miami strip club. Oh, Lord. Ugh. Florida man Joseph Rocco Giancola Jr. arrested for death threats against ICE officers. Here's the picture of the guy. Damn. You too old for that shit, man? Threatening ICE. And so the account was saying, shoot the Nazis dead. Shoot ICE Gestapo dead. Oh, he was doing it on Blue Sky. Yeah, these guys are probably going to be out all day collecting. Vance and his wife both went gray in the last year. Oh. evidence collection. Oops, sorry. Hello? Okay. The FBI captures alleged pro-Hamas attacker found living where? Living in Louisiana. Oh. Take a look at this.
FBI arresting an alleged October 7th attacker living in Louisiana. Federal prosecutors say the 33-year-old man took part in the Hamas attack on Israel, then traveled to the U.S. on a fraudulent...
What's he got, a MAGA hat on? I love MAGA. No, it's some other hat. Imagine.
In the Hamas attack on Israel, then traveled to the U.S. on a fraudulent visa. Senior correspondent Jonathan Seri has more on what we're learning. Jonathan.
Yes, Sandra, he was living here in the U.S. legally, at least on paper. Investigators say he lied on his visa application by failing to disclose his alleged connections to paramilitary groups. He was living in Lafayette, Louisiana. His name is Mahmoud al-Matadi, and according to the criminal complaint filed in U.S. District Court, evidence shows that on the morning of October 7, 2023, al-Matadi learned about the Hamas invasion, armed himself, gathered others, and crossed into Israel with the intention of assisting with Hamas's terrorist attack. That coordinated assault involved rape, torture, kidnapping, and the deaths of 1,200 people. Investigators say al-Matadi's phone used a cell tower located near Kibbutz Kfar Aza, the location of one of the worst massacres in that attack on Israel. The court filing also includes social media photos that investigators say shows al-Matadi wearing the red headband of the National Resistance Brigades, or NRB, a Gaza-based paramilitary group. It also includes a transcript of a phone call in which al-Matadi allegedly tells another man, quote, "If things go the way they should, Syria will take part, Lebanon will take part, and it's going to be a third world war." Sandra, al-Matadi is currently being held in Louisiana at the St. Martin Parish Correctional Center as this case unfolds. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. John.
All right, let's bring in Trey Gowdy, host of Sunday Night in America, for more on this. Here's what the FBI said in part in a statement. Quote, "Evidence shows that on the morning of October 7, 2023, al-Matadi learned about the Hamas invasion, armed himself, gathered others, and crossed into Israel with the intention of assisting in Hamas's terrorist attack. Evidence further shows that al-Matadi provided false information in his U.S. visa application relating to his involvement with the paramilitary organization, connection to Hamas, participation in a terrorist attack, and military training." Now in custody, but you got to wonder, how'd this guy get into the country?
Oh, I don't wonder. He probably came through a pretty porous southern border.
Yeah, so he came over here after all that shit and was just chilling here in America?
Or else he lied on the visa. But that's the least
crazy.
of his problems, John. His real problem is the close working relationship between Mossad and the CIA with John Radcliffe and Shin Bet, which is the Israeli law enforcement, and our FBI and Kash Patel. And I'll just tell anyone involved in the Hamas attack on October the 7th, you need to sleep with one eye open at least as long as Radcliffe is at the CIA and Patel is at the FBI. It's been over 2 years. They just found him. They're not going to stop looking. Just like we didn't stop looking after 9/11, Israel and the U.S. are not going to stop looking for you. And if you had anything to do with that barbaric attack, they're going to find you. Am I surprised it's Lafayette, Louisiana? I am. home of Jeff Landry, speaking of former prosecutors.
Yeah.
But Kash and John, both former U.S. attorneys, they're not going to stop until everyone that's involved is brought to justice.
Or as some say locally, Lafayette, Louisiana. Governor Jeff Landry, by the way, Trey just posted this on his Twitter account. Justice will be served. Perhaps this is Louisiana lockup's newest resident? Perhaps that's the case. I'll get your reaction.
You know, Louisiana is beautiful. I would probably rather be there than sent back to Israel. But that's always an option. Send them back to the country that they victimized. Look, like I said, his visa issues are the least of his problems. He's either there's some not so nice prisons in Louisiana. His future is looking very bleak. But that's also true for anyone that has not also been apprehended. Ratcliffe and Patel are going to work with their Israeli counterparts as long as they're in office, period, full stop. If you're involved in the October 7th attack, sleep with one eye open.
Yeah, in announcing these arrests, here's what the Attorney General Pam Bondi said, quote, after hiding out in the United States, this monster has been found and charged with participating in the atrocities of October 7th, the single deadliest day for Jewish people since the Holocaust. While nothing can fully heal the scars left by Hamas's brutal attack, this department's Joint Task Force, October 7, is dedicated to finding and prosecuting those responsible for that horrific day, including the murder of dozens of American citizens. I mean, this task force is going to continue. Maybe this is just the first person to be unearthed.
I hope so. And Pam, A.G. Bondi raises a really good point. It was not just Israelis that were victimized on that day. There were people from all over the world, including the United States, that were, I mean, children beheaded, women raped. I mean, it was equivalent to our 9/11. We spent 20 years finding out who was responsible for that. Israel is going to spend at least that long.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee.
Okay, I want to show another thing. That had sent this to me. Breaking residents in Dearborn, Michigan are now being woken up at 5:30 in the morning by Islamic prayers played through speakers across the city, with Muslims demanding the calls go out even earlier in the morning. What? Oh, so it's 5:30 in the morning? Let's see. Oh shit, that's wild. Damn. Oh my gosh. That's pretty wild. Wow. Wow. Okay. We got the live view here. It's AP. Yeah, so I figured these people are gonna be here all day, probably searching and collecting, going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Some of the other visual. When my son was 35, when my son, whose 35th birthday would be today, passed away March 8th, 2021, I can't tell you how many of his friends. I can't tell you how many of his friends, I don't know, hugged me similarly. I'm sorry about your son. Rest in peace. Oh, you're talking about the Charlie Kirk or the Erica Kirk. Yeah. And JD Vance. What kind of attack got foiled?
All throughout the last couple of hours, we have been following all of the latest information here on the FBI saying that a terror attack has been thwarted there over in Michigan. And we now have some new details that are coming in from Fox News. I want to take you out to the location here. This is actually over in Detroit. The situation itself, though, unfolding nearby over in Dearborn. Now, we've learned that the arrests the FBI announced in Michigan related to that potential attack planned over Halloween weekend are tied to international terrorism. Now, a top federal law enforcement source telling that to Fox News just moments ago. If you're not familiar with the story itself, I do want to pop this up on your screen. This is a post from FBI Director Kash Patel that he put out a bit earlier on this morning. He said this morning the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who are allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come thanks to the men and women of FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland. We also heard from Deputy Director there, Dan Bongino, who said protecting the homeland is our top priority. We will not rest. Again, that is Dan Bongino posting that on social media. Now, we don't have any more information, as I mentioned here, because the FBI and state police vehicles were in a neighborhood near Fordson High School in Dearborn, and an investigator was seen walking out of a house, grabbing some items from an FBI evidence truck and returning inside. But Dearborn police only saying in a social media post that it was aware that the FBI was conducting operations in the city and assured residents that there was no threat to the community. A message seeking comment from any kind of FBI spokesperson in Detroit has not been returned just yet. We only have those details from Dearborn police, as well as this post from FBI Director Kash Patel. We are, of course, working to gather more information, but I also want to note that separately in May, the FBI did say it arrested a man who had spent months planning an attack against a U.S. Army site in suburban Detroit on behalf of the Islamic State group. The man didn't know that he was supposed allies, had allies in the alleged plot that were undercover FBI employees. He does remain in custody and is charged with attempting to provide support to a terrorist organization. The criminal complaint was replaced in September with a criminal quote-unquote information docket signaling that a guilty plea is likely. But again, we are awaiting more information at this point, and we'll bring that to you on Live Now from Fox as soon as we do get it.
All right.
So this guy.
A lot of feds out there. They got called to prayer 3 years ago. Michigan? Oh, wow. Wow.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It. And let's start in New York City, where communist Zoran Mamdani is poised to be the next mayor. And he thought it was time to really focus on the true victims of 9/11, his family. Grab a tissue, folks. This is...
Crazy times. that was crazy. Let me see if I can find that again. They're already doing memes. Yo, check this shit out with JD Vance and Erica and the wife. Bruh. Yeah. This is one of the houses that's being searched, I guess related to the terror plot. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off for now. I have a couple things to do, but I will be around later, on and off. I'll keep an eye on this story. I'm going to be waiting to see if there's a press conference. And, yeah, guys, be safe. The holiday, I guess the holiday, I don't know, Halloween. You know, have some fun, trick or treat. Just be cautious, though. Be safe. Allah.